So I have to say I'm always amazed about the creativity of some places that I see over in Florida, just down the road from my house. Isn't it amazing? So yeah, pretty unique, and also the gorgeous, absolutely idyllic beaches. I mean, that's something that I really miss, this particular beach. And the sunlight and that white sand. It's unmistakable. Must be the best beach in the world, hey? And what about these guys and girls? I wanted to put them in because they're so cute and large. So my mum, when she used to come over for like 3-month stays from England when we were living in Florida before, she remembered that stark contrast of the blue and the green. So every time I look at a view like that, I think of her words. And the sunsets are really unbeatable, amazing. We couldn't do this in England, standing on the railway track, because we have electric lines. It's not very wise. Yeah, so the sunsets are beautiful, absolutely very memorable and amazing. So I think that it is time for tea. So any good British girl will have her cup of tea ready if she's getting ready for a chat. And any good complete day is not going to be really complete without a good cup of organic Earl Grey. Hey, welcome back to Across the Pond and Back with Stephie, and today I have a very special treat for you guys. My very dear and sweet friend Tamara is with me, or I'm with her, at her property in Northwest Florida.
Hello.
She has had a similar journey to me, being initially, an expat, but she comes from
Canada.
And me from British Isles, or UK, as you all know, those of you that follow the channel. So today I'm really keen to hear from Tamara and for her to share a little bit about what she's experienced as an expat herself, and she's going along really well becoming a citizen.
Right.
So in the meantime, she's got a very different life to what she would have had in Canada, I'm sure. I've heard some of it and I've shared her journey. I've known her for over 6 years, but she married an American man just like me, and we knew her husband before she got married, so we've known her husband a little bit longer, but they've been super good friends of ours, Tom and I, over the years. And I just want to share, give you an opportunity to join in what she's experienced. So I'm just going to grab my notes here. So hi, welcome Tamara.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show, your awesome YouTube channel.
Thank you. So, well, let's see. The first question was really, when you initially realized you were going to be moving to the States, obviously you met your husband and you share what you want about that.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hear.
Well, it was interesting because when we met and started chatting, he said, I said to him, I don't want a long distance relationship. And he said, me neither. And he went about closing the gap very quickly. So he came to visit me twice, sometimes 3 times a month in Canada, spent time with me and my daughter and family, and we just fell in love with him. And so it was only a matter of months. I met him in April of 2018, and we got married here, actually in Florida, April of 2019. So it didn't take long.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah. At the time, as a Canadian, I had 6 months of to visit, and so I came to visit. I didn't need special papers or a visa or anything to come and visit, and so during that time he proposed, and I said yes, and it's quite the love story. Yeah.
It was quick, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So your initial reaction of the actual country, had you been to the US before?
Yes, I had done some travel in the US. I've been to New Orleans. I've been to Clearwater Beach, Florida, just the beach, really. I was on a Caribbean cruise. But I did go to New York as well for about a week. So I had seen a little bit of the US before in my younger years.
Because just to kind of relate a little bit, when I met and married my husband from South Florida originally, I'd only had the typical visitor's impression of USA, which is pretty much what all British people are going to have. Maybe, is it true, would you say, coming from Canada, that you had a bit more idea of what the USA would be, or no?
Yes, I definitely had a little bit more idea, but unfortunately I was a bit nervous about the gun issue, because
Me too, yeah.
you just hear about all the negative. You hear the negative, the news tells the negative, so I thought wherever I went there might be a shooting, or I might be involved in a shooting, and I was actually quite nervous when I first moved here, but quickly realized that people who have lived here their whole lives have never seen a shooting. People do not experience that every day here where we live anyways, and so I quickly realized those fears were probably from the mainstream media, and that I could rest a little thinking that, oh no, I'm gonna be involved in a shooting, you know.
It's very, very similar to the same as what, I remember going to New York State, nothing really personal against New Yorkers, but I remember going across on that ferry to, which island is that?
Oh, Staten Island?
Yeah, Staten Island, thank you, yeah. And somebody had mentioned about keep your windows up or something like that, or, people get shot really easily over there.
Wow.
That was really my first major experience of that. So, okay, so I know when I got here, I maybe suffered or had a little bit of a different homesickness to you, but I'm sure that you had some homesickness because you grew up in Canada, right?
Yeah, I mean, things are definitely different in Canada. It felt quite crowded here to me, because it's just not, even the big cities seem to be less crowded. We do live out in the country, kind of suburbs now here. We're not like right. Yes, we got some chickens, and we've got about 5 acres here, but
Why are there some down here?
All lights separate batches. This is only the cream light bar breeds. This is just the cream light bar, and these are all kinds of different things.
Okay.
So those ones right there are just cream light bar. It has 8 pins. Naughty or listen.
Before that, we were right in the city, and sirens and people constantly. So that was a shock to me, because I was out in the suburbs in Canada and just wasn't used to the crowds and the people, and so that was a little overwhelming. And just there was just more people per square foot over here than there is in Canada.
In Canada, so, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, and really, it's funny in that respect. We had diametrically opposed experiences. Do you see what I mean? Because in the UK, anyone who's from the UK, even Scotland, maybe the north of Scotland, but most of the UK is crowded.
Wow.
So I'm
Yeah.
Sardineville, as a local
Oh,
friend
wow.
calls things when they're close together. But
Yeah.
it was Sardineville over there, and so I was used to that a little
Wow,
bit. So
yeah, it was different experience.
yeah, all right. So very interesting.
I think we have a similar experience with doctors, though, because we
Yeah.
have the similar healthcare setup.
Yeah.
So pretty much for everything, you go to the doctor in Canada. Like you have your family doctor, and you just run to the doctor for everything.
Yeah.
It's covered under Alberta healthcare,
Yeah.
and you're just used to just going. And here, we just take it into our own hands a little bit more. We don't. It's so expensive, and there's a lot of problems with the health care over here, and just expensive. So we just don't run to the doctor for everything, and we have to take a much more, like, I find, preventative
Yes.
mindset to our health.
Excellent.
So like, what are we eating? Are we exercising? What are you doing to maintain your health so that we don't need to rely on the doctor so much? So it's a definitely like different thinking that you have to put on over here versus Canada, I found.
Exactly. Yeah. Wonderful point there. Yeah. Couldn't put it better myself. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about my friend Tamara. She puts things very well. I knew she'd explain things. So, did you have any culture shock? I guess you covered that a little bit, but is there anything else that comes to mind about culture shock? Like things when you came over the border, you realised that that's really different, and you took a while to get used to it.
Well, yeah. So people are very talkative here. Here in the South, at least, in the state of Florida, are very friendly and talking to strangers. So, like, my husband's very open and outgoing. So we would be at a coffee shop, and all of a sudden, he strikes up a conversation with a stranger, and they're no longer strangers, and they're talking about
Sounds like my husband.
their love of trees and gardens and how beautiful Florida is, and isn't this coffee place just amazing? Have you tried their mochas? I mean, their mochas are just, that was a culture shock to me, because in Canada, you don't have a lot of people just chatting with strangers like you're like a neighbor.
You certainly don't in the UK either.
No, so that was, I was like kind of sometimes checking my watch, like, how long is this conversation gonna go on with this stranger?
Person?
Yeah, like, who is this? Like, do we know this person? Like, and it was just interesting to me. But then after some time, it definitely took me some time to get used to that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh, but after some time, I began to appreciate that friendliness, that southern hospitality, that warmness that people have, and openness people have, and just started to really appreciate it after some time. But it was a culture shock at first.
It is to start with.
Like, why are these people talking to me? I don't want to
That's
be
right.
not that I was rude or like that. I was just kind of
What you grew
shocked.
up with.
Like, I was like, oh, like, this is interesting to me, like that everyone's just chatting and so open, and I think it has a lot to do with the weather, honestly. Like, as the sun is starting to come out right now, people are outside. They're out walking. They're outside in their gardens. They chat with their neighbors. They know who their neighbors are, and it's just a different culture than the North. It really is. People are outside more here. It's absolutely gorgeous most of the year, which was a really nice shift from Canada, being that we had like 8 months of winter
inside.
Pretty much 8 months of winter where you're running to get away from the cold. I mean, some people embrace it and they ski and different things like that, but it can be so bitterly cold that you're just, the people you see are the people you work with and your family, and that's pretty much it for those.
Smaller world.
Yeah, it's a smaller world, Yeah, definitely.
I can imagine, and I've seen some beautiful pics that I think you or your hubby sent, and just generally, I went to Ottawa once, so I've had a little taste of Canada. So what's the place? This is just an addition here, but the place where you said you get chips and gravy. Where's that?
poutine.
Yeah. I'd like.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could have that down here.
That's definitely a French Canadian thing.
Yeah.
You know, you go over to Quebec, you go over to Montreal, you're gonna get a lot of that, but you can get it at most restaurants. I mean,
you can?
It's a popular dish over there, and pretty much it's just fries with some cheese curds and some hot gravy over top.
Can you get it down here?
I haven't seen it down here. I really haven't seen it down here. No. But they've. That was another shocker, Stephanie, was how much things are deep fried down here.
Oh yeah.
Like deep fried okra, deep fried
Everything.
chicken.
Yes.
I was like, wow. I mean, I can't eat all this deep fried stuff. Like they really love their fried foods down here.
Absolutely, yeah. I always remember when I was, when Tom was still with us. And for those of you that don't watch my channel, I am a widow now, and we were married for 22 years. So my American husband's not with us right here, but he is with the Lord. So thank God for that. But he used to talk about, can you do some fried this or that? And everything seemed to be fried. Yeah. But it's just what he grew up with in South Florida.
Yeah. So the food is definitely a change. It's a culture shock. But there's definitely some good things too. I've learned to make collard greens, and they're healthy.
Yeah.
That's a very southern thing. I learned to make fried apples.
Oh,
and,
yes, those apples that we had recently. Yeah, they were delicious. Yeah, try it. Yeah. I'll ask Tamara to let me know if anyone wants a recipe for that, because it was so good for the dessert. Apples. Yeah. So, thank you. So, your journey. So, how long would you say? Are you planning on staying here? Would you think? Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I really feel like the Lord brought Michael to my life at just the right time. Our first conversation, he was telling me his testimony about how he became a Christian. And Tom was a big part of that. And so that really touched my life. And I was a Christian and am a Christian, but we had that in common. And I really felt like the Lord brought us together. And the Lord brought me here. So... And it couldn't have been better timing, really. And we've had 2 boys together, as you know.
Wow.
And so, and we've purchased our first home together. And so we're definitely settling in, I'd say, and here for the long haul. I do love Florida. I love it. I just... I do miss certain things about Canada for sure. Family and the mountains I miss.
Yeah.
And there are certain things I do miss, but I really do love where we live and love our friends and our local church. And I feel like, I think we're definitely here for the long haul.
Yeah. And I'd like to give a shout out for you guys' tree business, if that's all right. We can edit that out if you don't want to. But I will leave the link in the comments below for Mayo Tree Services, because they're very much an established, very careful, professional, wonderful personality that her hubby runs the business, and it's just been wonderful for them to have this business that they actually run from the property itself. You might be able to see in the background a few piles of wood.
Chips.
They have plenty of wood, but that's a shout out for them, and of course, want them to continue to succeed, be very successful in this area as a tree business. So they do most things, don't you?
Yeah, so we'll do tree trimming and removals. My husband, he loves it. He loves climbing. We have all the saws and equipment you need, and he really enjoys it. He's an outdoors person. He can never be inside for more than a few hours. He needs to get outside, and so he really enjoys his work, and it tells he's very professional and always goes above and beyond for people.
I can testify to that. He has for many years.
Yeah.
But so do you, though. I'd like to say, well, I'll save that to the end, but I really admire you as a wife and mother. I just don't want you to lose your track. So do you have any advice for anyone, but I would say specifically coming from Canada, because that's where you come from? I mean, is there anything that you would like to say to a man or woman, older or younger, if they're thinking of moving here from Canada?
I would say, obviously, don't do it alone. You need a group of really good people around you. You need support. And so that I would say that, and I would say that it's definitely beautiful here in the U.S. Very patriotic. People are very passionate about freedom, liberty, and justice, and there's definitely some awesome things about the United States of America. So I'd say just make sure you're with the right people. Make sure that you pray to make sure that's what God wants you to do. Obviously, before you move anywhere, you want to pray, seek the Lord in everything. And the Bible says, it says, seek the Lord and everything will be added to you. So, and just gratitude. We have to be grateful for wherever we are. If we're grateful, then good things will come to us. If we're not grateful, then we'll probably end up going backwards in life, and not in more than one area. So I think starting the day with thanking God for all the good things that He's given us is definitely my advice.
Wonderful advice. Yeah, can't go wrong with that. So any of your other own comments or anything you'd like to add?
I think it was a blessing to go back to Canada to spend time with my mom.
Oh, yes.
When she was passing away at the young age of 66, and my husband, Michael, he allowed that to happen. He said, no, it's important to go back to your country to be with your mom. It's important.
Yes.
Because look at what our mothers do for us.
Yeah.
You know, and he made that happen. You know, he said, if she's passing, you need to be there, he said. And
absolutely.
It was very expensive, but we decided, you know what, it's better to spend that time with your mom.
Never regret it.
We don't regret it. We don't regret the cost. We don't regret it, because it was just very good for the soul, very good for me to be with my mom during her last days, like you were able to do, and go back to the UK.
That also was quite expensive.
To be with your mom, and I mean that's just so important though, because you'll never lose that now, right?
Always is so precious, isn't it? So definitely, I'm so glad that you got to have time with your precious mom. Maybe we can find a picture or two if Tamara's happy with that. But I just wanted to say, I do really admire you here, because I've been a young mum already. I've homeschooled, she's homeschooling, and it can be very demanding, and any homeschool parents or mums out there will know and will relate to it, but it's still demanding. It can be very rewarding, can't it? But homeschooling, I mean, and just being at home as a mother and a wife, being a wife can be quite challenging at times. So,
and also very rewarding.
Yes.
I have a very sweet husband that provides, protects, loves us so much, and so it's very sweet to have that in my life. But it can be demanding for sure, but I think everything in life that's worth something definitely takes some work.
Isn't that the truth? That is just wonderful. I think that's an amazing note to kind of come to the end on. I mean, it's worth working for, isn't it?
It's worth it.
Isn't she sweet? I just want to say thank you for watching. This is my sweet friend from Canada, and I look forward to seeing you all in another video. If you've got any questions or any comments, be nice in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys later. Cheerio.
Awesome. Okay.